welcome to Culture on I-24 News. I'm Lid Grober, and today a lovely special show for you. We'll have Zeev Revach, one of Israel's most beloved actors, right here in the studio to talk about his latest film. Take a look at prison inmates who use their time in the big house to learn how to cook. And we'll hear of a Pakistani film star that was sentenced for 26 years in jail. Zeev Revach is an Israeli icon. The actor and comedian acted in countless films beginning in the 1960s, some of them among the most beloved in Israeli popular culture. He also had a prolific career on stage and on television. His latest film, The Farewell Party, won 4 Israeli Academy Awards, including one for Revach himself in the Best Actor category. I'm absolutely thrilled to have Zeev Revach here in the studio. Zeev, thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Let's start with the Farewell Party, your latest film. It's very successful, and it's a very nice little comedy. But on the other hand, it deals with some serious issues.
Well Party was written by Sharon Maimon and Tal Granit. 2 young directors I worked with 3 years ago on a film called Mortgage. And when we finished that film, they promised to write me a new role. 3 years later, they said, "Okay, Zevik, here's the script." I read the script for The Farewell Party, and I thought it was phenomenal. The script is simply brilliant. It is a serious drama, but with a lot of dark humor. When I sat in the theater with audiences watching the film, I was very surprised with all the laughter coming from them.
Did you have any hesitations about taking the part?
Look, I did hesitate because I had a religious upbringing, traditional. My father was a rabbi, and I studied in an Orthodox school. So I did talk to rabbis and Kabbalists, asked for their advice, and finally I decided to make the film and use all my hesitations in the role. I think that was the best solution.
Yeah. Now, you're very known for some very wild characters that you played earlier in your career, some very almost caricature characters. But in recent years, you're taking on more dramatic roles. Is that something you prefer these days?
לא, אני חושב שאני אוהב קומדיות. אני מחלק את זמני בין תיאטרון.
No, I love comedies, and I divide my time between theater and film. I very much love hearing the audience laugh in the theater. It just makes me happy.
זה משמח אותי מאוד, וגם בתיאטרון. לשחק קומדיה.
So acting in a comedy is my biggest joy.
זה הויטליות שהקהל נותן לי.
The amounts of vitality and energy I get from the audience are simply enormous. But I play different roles, and each role has a different message. So if it's a drama, I play dramatically, and thank God I have the talent for that as well.
אז אם זה דרמה, אז אני משחק דרמה, וברוך השם יש לי את הכישרון גם לשחק דרמה.
So you enjoy the variety.
כן.
There were some moments in your career that you also tried your hand at writing and directing.
Yeah.
Any chance we're gonna see you in the director's chair again?
Yeah. אני עובד עכשיו, אני כותב סרט שנקרא לב.
I'm writing a movie called Heart, an adaptation of a novel by thriller writer Ram Oren.
הנושא הזה של סחר עברים נורא מדבר אליי.
It's about illegal organ harvesting. The subject really appeals to me. It will be a very difficult drama. You have poor people selling their organs to rich people who have the resources to buy them and get the operations done abroad. It speaks to me.
זה נושא שמאוד מדבר אליי. מה גם שאחותי נפטרה לפני שנתיים.
My sister passed away 2 years ago. I took care of her, and I became aware of all these things, so I decided to make a movie about it.
זאת דרמה.
It's a drama. I don't think it's going to be funny. I think it's a horrible thing.
הוא באמת, הוא נוראי, הוא נוראי.
Do you plan on acting in the film as well?
Yes, also. Director and the...
Wonderful. That's great. You know, a more general question, if you may. How has Israeli film industry changed over the years? Because you're in a unique position to assess that.
אני חושב שהקולנוע הישראלי התפתח נהדר בשנים האחרונות.
I think Israeli cinema has developed wonderfully in the last few years. The government helps funding through film funds. It got young people energized, very talented young people. I enjoy so much watching these young directors, and as a veteran actor and director, I'm so happy to encounter young minds. It makes me young too, and connects me to the time. I think Israeli cinema really jumped ahead in the last few years. Every Israeli film that succeeds in the world is like my own film, because I'm an Israeli and a patriot.
And you certainly helped build the film industry in Israel, without a doubt. Last question, because unfortunately we're almost out of time. Can you explain the magic of Zeev Revach that speaks so well to pretty much all Israelis?
I'm an actor.
אני אוהב את התיאטרון.
I love the theater, which is the basis of my work, even in cinema.
היה לי הזדמנות וזכות גדולה ללמוד אצל מורים נהדרים.
I had the chance and the privilege to study under great teachers.
אבל לאמיתו של דבר,
I was always very passionate about it. Actually, my father also wrote plays. He was a teacher in Alliance in Morocco. He wrote and acted. He met my mother working on a play. So I was born into a theatrical family, and musical too. I thank God for giving me the talent. My father really wanted me to go in his footsteps and become a rabbi.
אבא שלי מאוד רצה שאני אמשיך להיות רב.
Really? Well, you know, all Israelis are very thankful that you didn't go in your father's ways in that sense, and that you...
אני אמרתי לה, אבא שלי מאוד רצה שאני אהיה רב.
He really wanted me to follow him.
אמרתי לו, אם אלוהים נתן לי את הכישרון.
I told my father, if God gave me this talent to help people forget their trouble even for 2 hours, I don't need more than that.
דייני בעולם הזה, אני לא צריך יותר.
Absolutely, absolutely. Zeev Revach, thank you so much for coming in today.
תודה רבה, you're welcome.
We go now to the north of Israel, to the Tzalmon prison, which houses over 1,000 inmates, and some of them discovered a passion for cooking. The prison gave them an opportunity to train as chefs so they can earn their living in a kitchen once they get out. Sandy Fortis went behind the prison walls and into the kitchen.
Master Chef, Iron Chef, the next great baker. In recent years, cooking shows have invaded the small screen, and it can sometimes lead viewers to find their vocation.
We always see these shows on TV. Cooking looks very fun and interesting. And when they offered me this course, I thought I could learn to cook, like on TV. It's also an opportunity to learn a profession. My future is most important to me.
Nissim is not a student in a culinary school, but a prisoner in the Tzalmon prison in northern Israel. For several months, he has been training to become a chef. His training was approved by the Ministry of Economy and funded by prison authorities.
We did research and realized that the kitchens lacked staff, particularly in restaurants, hotels, or wedding halls. This is a good place to find this manpower. If inmates learn the trade in here, they can integrate in the profession on the outside.
This is the fourth consecutive year that the Tzalmon Detention Center provides this training. For this purpose, prison authorities have created a fully equipped cooking school, an investment of more than 1.5 million shekels, nearly $380,000. Like Nissim, 15 prisoners are studying cooking this year.
It's an opportunity. I hope I can use it outside, to work in a hotel or in a restaurant. I can really do that.
If one or two find work in a kitchen once out, I will feel I have achieved my goal.
Frying, broiling, stewing, it's now all a breeze for these students. That was not the case just a few months ago.
At first, it was very difficult for me. I almost dropped out of the course because I had a lot of trouble, but finally, little by little, it changed. The instructor helped a lot. It is hard, but we made it. To be successful, you really have to listen.
At first, no one even knew how to make an omelet. Today, we make sauces, cook meat, and many other things we never imagined we'd do.
Each participant in the program was handpicked by prison authorities. The Tzalmon Detention Center is the only prison in Israel which offers this training. Today it is very popular. Some inmates even request a transfer to gain access to the program. The inmates are aware of the privilege.
This is not an ordinary thing. They chose only a few prisoners for this course. It's like winning $1 million to receive such training in a place like this.
They give us the opportunity to succeed. I think it's a beautiful gift.
A gift that can also be taken away. The slightest disciplinary problem may lose a prisoner his spot in the course. In the meantime, the master chef behind bars is a success. Of the 45 prisoners who have already completed the course, more than 20 are currently working in kitchens outside the prison walls.
Looks yummy. In a moment, we'll hear why a Pakistani film star was sentenced for 26 years in jail. But first, our cultural recommendation for the day.
Azerbaijan, also known as the Land of Fire, is a country with a remarkable history and unique cultural heritage. The National Museum of History Azerbaijan, together with the Naperstak Museum of Asian, African and American Cultures in Prague, show the magic of Azerbaijan and present the ancient archaeological and architectural object from antiquity to the 19th century. Also on display is the collection of Azerbaijani carpets reflecting the colors and diversity of local nature. The exhibition is a magical journey through culture, music, history and geography of the country that will leave you wanting to visit the Central Asian country.
And now Daniel Campos is joining us here in the studio. Hey, Daniel.
Hello, Oded.
You have some very interesting stories, especially if we take into account the stories we already had on the program. This film star, maybe she'll come out of jail a cook.
Well, yeah, definitely interesting story, but also a tragic one, I would say. We still don't know what's going to happen to her because she's abroad. She's being sentenced to 26 years on blasphemy charges.
Which means what? What did she do? What did she say?
Well, there's different interpretations. She was actually playing the role. She was reenacting her own wedding with religious music on the background, holy music. The other theory is that she was doing a parody of the wedding of Muhammad's daughter, Prophet Muhammad's daughter.
And this was on a morning show on television, right?
Yeah, this was live on Prime TV, on Geo TV. Also, he is being sentenced to 26 years.
Her husband.
Her husband and the owner of the channel, who was at the time in the United Arab Emirates, where he lives.
Now, it's still unclear whether or not she'll actually serve the time because she's not even in Pakistan. She lives in Dubai?
She's in Dubai, you're right. Yeah.
And she's a big star in India. but we'll definitely keep an eye on it and see what happens. What else do you have?
Well, we also have this artist from Tibet who's been sentenced to 4 years in jail, and also due to a different type of censorship, not blasphemy. This time we can say it's more threatening the Chinese authorities, because he's calling for the unity of Tibet. He's calling for Tibetans to sing in their own language, and this has angered authorities. So we have two different kinds of censorship, one religious-oriented, one authoritarian.
Yeah, it's certainly worrying, but let's hope that we'll see an end to this sort of oppression in the future. Thank you so much, Campus.
Thank you.
Thank you at home for joining us as well. I hope you enjoyed our show. We certainly enjoyed making it, especially today. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Culture. Till then, you can check out our website, i24news.tv. You can find all of our past shows there. Please stay tuned for a news bulletin and join us again tomorrow.